All right, so thank you everyone for joining us on this wonderful Saturday morning. Mr. Shields has signed in to say a few words before we get started.
Hey everyone, good morning. I am Mr. Shields, Director of Theater and Film, and I'm really excited that we got to get together on the Saturday to talk about our arts this year. I mean, obviously, we've had to pivot a lot with everything everyone already knows about the challenges that we've had this year. And I just wanted to congratulate all of our students for working really hard to try to still figure out how to engage their arts, whether it be at home or figuring out now that we've had a little bit of time to do some stuff on campus. Just kudos and congratulations to your artistic integrity and your work that you've managed to create this year. I also want to congratulate our new film instructor, Miss Miss Nix, Miss Lane Nix, who's done a fantastic job of really bringing together this department in a very challenging year of teaching. Today we're going to talk about reflecting on the art that we've managed to create, and this year, since we haven't been able to do as many projects, it's really good to kind of get involved in the why as we create our art, or the conceptual nature of creating art. And really, as we combine both the arts and enterprise at this school, a lot of it's about the business aspect, the creative aspect, but also kind of figuring out who our students are as people and how they develop that point of view and the idea of the message that they want to bring to it. So congratulations for all the work you've done. I wish I could stay a little longer, but we have our own theater culmination that we're doing at the same time. But I just want to stop in, give you a great congratulations, and I wish you all the success coming into the rest of your artistic career. Thank you so much, and congratulations, Ms. Lane, on a wonderful year.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shields, and enjoy your portfolio as well.
Thank you. Will do.
All right, so it looks like we have several students in here now, so we'll go ahead and begin. First of all, I do want to talk a little bit about what this year has been like. Like Mr. Shields said, it has been, the buzzword of 2020 was unprecedented. So a lot of our students were faced with challenges that they didn't expect. None of us expected this school year to look how it did, but I do want to say thank you to any parents out there that are listening in for supporting our students. I know being a parent can be a thankless job, but everything that you have done has been a wonderful addition to our classroom, and supporting our students is one of the most important things you can do. So thank you very much for that. And throughout this school year, like I said, it's been a little different than what we all expected. But what I've been trying to do is encourage all of our students to look at this more as a learning opportunity than as a setback, and to really think about the stories that they're telling and why they're telling them and how they're telling them. So one thing that a lot of people learn later in life is that being a filmmaker is not about using fancy equipment. It's about telling a story that connects with people on an emotional level. And that's why we've been looking at a lot of the elements that we've been looking at this year, starting with screenwriting, going through the way a director breaks down their script, all the way through the use of color and camera in order to convey emotion and work with your story to affect your audience and get the response that you were looking for. So while we have focused a lot on pre-production, I think our students have in fact learned a lot about what it takes to make a film, and they've also learned a lot about what it's like to work in the professional field. So I'm confident that any of our students can go out after attending our classes, walk onto a professional set, and know what's going on, which is very important when you're first starting out, because you don't want to be the new guy that has to have things explained to you. So all of you are able to go out and go on a film set and look like you know what you're doing, which is step one to getting your foot in the door. So before we get started, I do have a little presentation to share with everyone. And this is of the projects that have been submitted to me. I've just put them together for a real quick view of what our students have been working on, so I hope you enjoy. All right, so that was essentially our trailer for our portfolio session today. And now what I'd like to do is have all of our students that have joined us go ahead and introduce themselves along with the project that they are using for their portfolio or arts culmination artifact. So do I have any volunteers to go first to introduce yourself?
Hello.
Hi, Seth. Tell us a little bit about you and your project.
Hi, I'm Seth Corwin. I'm a student here at the SAY who's in 11th grade. I have my project that I've been working on has been the Stay Home Season 2. It is a film series about the positives of COVID-19 and how people, and just trying to and it was created to kind of give a more positive outlook for people on the current situation, because I felt like there was a lot of people who just didn't, who all would just say that everything was bad about COVID and that there was nothing good that came out of it, when I believe that there were moments that were good, and I wanted to emphasize on those and bring those to light.
All right, thank you for sharing. Do I have a volunteer to go next?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I'm Natalie Valenzuela. I am a senior at the SAE, and I'm using my artifact. I'm using Create Your Own Film. I made it in the beginning of senior year, and I'm very proud of it. So that's what I'm using.
Wonderful, thank you. And also happy birthday to you, Natalie. I know today is your birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next, Miss.
All right, thank you, Jesse.
So I'll just present myself.
Yeah, yourself and the project that you're using for your artifact.
Oh, okay. So hello, everyone. My name is Jesse Marquez. I'm a junior at the SAE, and the project that I selected was Make Your Own Documentary Project. This was a project that we did back in August, September of last year, so it was early on in the school year. And so, yeah, that's the project that I did, and it's called My Best Friend from Baseball.
Wonderful, thank you. Let's see, Luca, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello. I am Lucas Gilkey, an 11th grade filmmaking student at the School of Arts and Enterprise. And the project that I chose to use for my portfolio was Say Home, which was it was season 2 of a web series used by the Say, which was basically used to show for this year how people's lives have evolved and how they've changed and what they've like learned during this time of pandemic when they're all at home by themselves. I mean, it's basically showing how people have adapted to what's going on.
Perfect, thank you very much. Victor, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure thing. I'm Victor Tessier. I'm a 11th grade student at the SAE. I'm part of the Film 3 class and the Film Production class. That was my music video in there. And the video is about adapting and fighting for what you love most.
Beautiful. Let's see, who else do we have? Alessandro, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Alessandra, and the project I'm doing for portfolio is make a documentary. And basically what I did was just interview my friend on why he chose music as a career.
Right, perfect. That was a very insightful documentary as well. And then Alex, can you go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone? It looks like Alex might be having a little bit of technical difficulty. Oh, actually, Alex is just here to watch, so no worries, Alex. Thank you for joining us. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started with the questions. So you've all been asked to reflect on this past year and really look at yourselves as filmmakers and think back about the challenges and the successes that you've had. So our first question is, of the roles on set, which do you want to pursue and why? So does anyone want to start off by answering that question of which role on set you would like to pursue?
Yes, I would like to answer that one. So with roles on the set that I've found myself really working extremely well in, it would be the technical aspect, as in the either being the camera operator, the sound recordist, all of those roles on set where I'm working with the equipment, I've found to work really, really well with, and that's the ones where I feel like I perform the best on.
All right, excellent. Those are all wonderful careers to pursue. They are definitely in high demand, so thank you for sharing that. Does anyone else want to answer that question? All right, so it looks like we have a technical operator. And I'll move on to our next question, which is what did you learn about yourself through the process of making your project?
Can I go, Miss?
Absolutely.
So, so I'm a junior now to say, and in the past couple of other years, I've always done like short films, right? And so I was so stubborn with the idea that I was always going to direct short films and like narrative ones. But the thing is that I kind of like discovered that I'm more flexible working with like making documentaries, and like the short film opportunities only come once a year, but these documentaries or just commercial film in general, like for promotions for businesses, come like every other month. So it allowed me to open myself to like a different genre of film, different genres of film. And now I've done music videos, different documentaries, and so now that I feel like I'm more open as a filmmaker.
That's excellent. Thank you for sharing. It looks like we had someone raising their hand. Did someone have something to add? All right, maybe not. Well, thank you for sharing that, Jesse. I've definitely seen your attitude towards different types of film change throughout the year, and I think that's excellent. Again, our goal is to make sure that you're all able to find work, and the more open you are and the more flexible you are, the more work you will be finding. Does anyone else learn something about themselves throughout this process? All right, if not, we'll go ahead and move on. So you all were asked to collaborate at some point during this school year, and although it looked a little bit differently, I'm curious what you all learned about collaboration, either by collaborating with people or by having a lack of collaboration with people. So who wants to talk about what you've learned about collaboration?
Can I talk on that one?
Absolutely.
Something I learned is just like with my group, it was good to like see people's different perspectives because I feel like we learn from each other. So like if they have something, it's like, oh, like I never thought about that. It's like, oh, I'm learning. I'm not only knowing something new, but I'm also learning from them.
That is
And
go ahead.
that's what I learned from collaborating with others.
That is an excellent view to have on it. Sometimes in the professional world, people get so stuck in their own mindset that they forget to appreciate the people around them. So I'm glad that you've learned to appreciate that because it will definitely not only make you a better filmmaker, but just a better person in general when you approach life like that. So thank you for sharing that. Victor, I believe you were talking a little bit about what you've learned from collaboration before. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, I would. So in this project, and due to COVID, I had to work on the music video alone, so I didn't get to experience that collaboration. But while doing it, and facing many of the challenges I had for myself, I came to a realization of the importance of collaborating, having a director, having a producer, having an editor, to really develop a film and make it the best it can be.
Yeah, that music video was definitely impressive knowing that you did that all by yourself, like camera, everything. That was very impressive, and I'm sure it did make you appreciate what other people do on set. So thank you for sharing that. So another thing that we did throughout the semester is we were giving each other feedback and we were receiving feedback on our projects. So I want you all to talk a little bit about what you learned about the process of giving and receiving feedback.
Um, I could touch a bit on that point, Miss. So I think like feedback for any artist is useful and for most necessary because we're so cut up on our own world, right? And we have our own perspective, but someone else may view something differently. And so if they see something that you can improve on, maybe you won't see it, right? But someone else may see it. They might see that point, and so that you can take that into consideration. Obviously, it's constructive, and so therefore it should help you enhance your work and just ultimately make it better.
Right, that is a great attitude to have towards getting feedback. Sometimes it can feel, when you're the artist, it can feel like you're being attacked. But if you look at it in a way of someone else giving you their perspective and trying to make your artwork better, then it absolutely makes the process much easier and much more fun to go through. So thank you for that. Alessandro, do you have anything to add about giving and receiving feedback?
Oh, not really.
Okay. Thank you for being honest about that. Our next question is, what will you do differently the next time you are making a film? So every time you make a project, you're going to learn something that you're going to do different in the future, even when you're big professional directors. So what if you learn now that you will do differently in the future? All right, so apparently everyone is very shy about what they learned. I know that you all learned something, but I won't put you on the spot too much. Ted, did you have
Um,
something?
yeah, the question was about what we learned during this process.
Yeah, like what you would do differently in the future.
Um, I think through everything I've been through and all the films that I have made so far, I feel like if I could do anything different, I would definitely do a lot more collaboration work and be more open to criticism than I normally am. Not to take any offenses when somebody says something isn't good about something. Yeah.
That's excellent. And sometimes as a filmmaker, like I said, it's hard to get that criticism and it's hard to collaborate. And the sooner you learn to take a different perspective, a more positive perspective, it definitely makes things a lot easier moving forward. So I'm glad that that's the thing that you have decided moving forward. That's what you're going to be more open to. That will definitely make you a much better filmmaker. And again, just a person in general. It's always nice to be around people who are open-minded. And it looks like we have a question from the audience. What about any new skills they've learned while making films during COVID? So have any of you picked up any new skills for filmmaking while you have been in quarantine? I know for myself, I had to get better at using the camera. So is there anyone out there that has learned a new skill? All right, so apparently everyone has just been already good at stuff and just getting better. No new skills acquired, which is good to hear. And then, so our last question, our last predetermined question: what advice would you give the next class based on your challenges and successes? So, if you could talk to the upcoming freshmen, sophomores, juniors, what advice would you give to them? And this is something that I would like for you all to answer because I think you all have some sort of advice.
May I go first?
Absolutely.
Having confidence in yourself, not giving up, like not giving up on hard work and pushing yourself to do things that you never thought you would do.
All right, that is excellent advice. Thank you, Natalie. And Victor, did you have something?
Yeah, sorry, my internet's cutting out. But yeah, I would say to the underclassmen and future high schoolers at the say, just to be ambitious, be creative, don't be afraid to express yourself. And you're in high school. I mean, this is really the time to experiment and mess up because you're free to do that. You're free to fail and learn from it.
I absolutely love that advice. I 100% agree with you. And I feel like you have walked away, or you're going to walk away from high school with exactly the knowledge and the mindset that you should walk away with, which is try everything and be creative and don't be afraid of your own ambitions. So thank you so much for giving that advice. Who else wants to give some advice to the underclassmen?
My advice here would be that whenever you do, try to do your biggest, your best during each one, so that you can really test out what your capabilities are in any and all projects assigned.
Excellent advice. Thank you very much for sharing, Seth. Let's see, we haven't heard from Alessandro yet. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, I would say like don't give up, and it doesn't really matter what equipment you have, even if like the worst, at least try to do the film and do your best.
That is wonderful advice. I think 2020 has taught us all that lesson. And like I said before, equipment is not the most important thing. It's the story that you tell. And Alessandra, I think from seeing your work, I do see that you go beyond the equipment and look at the story or the subject that you're working with, and that really comes across regardless of what you're filming with. So thank you for giving that advice. You are definitely speaking from experience. What about you, Luca? Any advice for those upcoming students?
Um, I would definitely give them advice as to like just try to really help them I mean to really advise them to cut out procrastination from their work life, as that's something I've definitely had to suffer with quite a bit, and it often like leads projects to not turn out as their as to their full potential. I've realized that quite often. So I feel like that's the best thing I would try to tell them, to try to cut out procrastination as best as they could.
Yeah, I think that that is an unfortunate lesson that most of us must learn. And in filmmaking, procrastination really does hurt the final product, but it's good that you're learning that now, and moving forward, you will know time management is going to be key for working on projects. So thank you for sharing that. And we did have one comment in the chat that says, fail is the first attempt in learning, which I think goes along with what Victor said. It's okay to fail in high school because you're in high school, you know, try new things. You're not an adult yet. It's the perfect time to do that. Do we have any closing thoughts from any of our students about what 2020 and 2021 have looked like so far for filmmaking? All right, you guys are very shy this morning, but that is okay. I want to thank you all for coming and participating in this discussion. It's very important as artists that we take a moment to look back on the things that we've made and the experiences we've had, because all of those are going to make us better artists in the future. And even if you don't pursue filmmaking in the future, it's going to change your perspective on anything that you do in life, whatever career you choose to go into, and even your relationships with people. So I would encourage you to ask yourselves questions like these periodically throughout the rest of your life, and take a moment to reflect on big events and small events that happen, just so you can keep yourself grounded and always growing as a person. So again, thank you all for coming. Thank you to the parents who were here to support our students. And it looks like our assistant principal has chimed in to say that she is very proud of each of you, and I have to echo that sentiment. So please, all of you, go enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I will see you again next week.
Bye, miss. Have a good one.
Bye, Jesse.